Your doctor probably told you to avoid this fruit, and millions of seniors have been avoiding it ever since. But here is what most people were never told. For seniors who can safely eat it, and I will explain exactly who can and who cannot in just a moment, this one fruit has some of the most powerful artery-protecting, inflammation-fighting, blood pressure-lowering properties of any food studied in cardiovascular research. It is not exotic, it is not expensive, it is sitting in the produce section of every grocery store in America right now, and it has been dismissed, avoided, and quietly removed from the diets of millions of seniors, many of whom needed it most. Today, I am going to tell you exactly what this fruit is, what it does inside your arteries, who should eat it, and who genuinely needs to avoid it. Stay with me through this entire video because what I am about to share could change how you think about your heart health after 60. My name is Nurse Susan Hartley, and on this channel, I bring you honest research-based health information specifically for life after 60. No false promises, no dangerous advice, just the facts you deserve to have. And today, I need to talk to you seriously about your arteries, because here's the reality that most seniors are not told clearly enough. The Centers for Disease Control reports that heart disease remains the #1 cause of death in Americans over 60. Not cancer, not stroke, not diabetes, heart disease. And the primary driver of most heart disease is something happening silently inside your arteries right now: atherosclerosis, the gradual buildup of plaque inside your artery walls that narrows them, stiffens them, and restricts the flow of blood to your heart, your brain, and every organ in your body. It happens slowly. It happens silently. And by the time most people find out it is happening, the damage is already significant. Which is exactly why what you eat every single day after 60 is not a minor lifestyle choice. It is a decision about your arteries. And the fruit I am about to tell you about is one that research shows directly addresses what is happening inside those arteries. The fruit is grapefruit. I know, some of you just thought, my doctor told me not to eat that. And some of you simply do not like the taste. Both reactions are exactly why I called it the most hated fruit. But I need you to stay with me here because the research on what grapefruit specifically does to your cardiovascular system after 60 is genuinely remarkable. And the reason so many seniors were told to avoid it has everything to do with medication interactions, not with the fruit itself being harmful. I will address that very specifically and very clearly so you know exactly where you stand. But first, let me show you what grapefruit does inside your arteries. Because once you understand this, you will never look at it the same way again. Grapefruit contains an extraordinarily high concentration of a flavonoid compound called naringenin. Naringenin is the compound responsible for grapefruit's characteristic bitter taste, which is precisely why so many people dislike it. But that bitterness is also where its power lies. Here is what naringenin does inside your arteries. It directly targets and reduces LDL cholesterol oxidation. Now, I need to explain why that specific action matters so much. It is not simply having high LDL cholesterol that causes plaque to build up inside your arteries. It is what happens when LDL cholesterol becomes oxidized, damaged by free radicals in your bloodstream, that causes it to become sticky and begin adhering to your artery walls. Think of your arteries like the inside of a clean water pipe. Normal LDL cholesterol flows through it smoothly like clean water. Oxidized LDL is like rust particles in that water. They are rough-edged. They catch on the pipe walls. They accumulate. They narrow the pipe over time. Naringenin in grapefruit acts like a powerful rust inhibitor. It neutralizes the free radicals before they can oxidize the LDL. The cholesterol stays smooth. It flows through rather than sticking to your artery walls. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that naringenin significantly reduced LDL oxidation and decreased the formation of arterial plaque in subjects with elevated cardiovascular risk. Significantly reduced. Not marginally, not slightly. And grapefruit does not stop there. Benefit number 2 is something every senior with high blood pressure needs to hear. Grapefruit is one of the richest dietary sources of potassium available. One medium grapefruit contains approximately 320 milligrams of potassium, and potassium is one of the most powerful natural blood pressure regulators your body has access to. Here is the relationship. Sodium, the salt most seniors consume too much of a year, causes your body to retain water, which increases the volume of blood in your vessels, which raises the pressure against your artery walls. Potassium counteracts sodium directly. It signals your kidneys to excrete excess sodium through urine rather than holding it in your bloodstream. Less sodium retained means less water retained. Less water retained means lower blood volume. Lower blood volume means lower pressure against those artery walls. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose connected to a pump. Too much sodium is like turning the pump pressure up too high. The hose strains under the pressure. Over time, the walls weaken. Potassium is like reaching over and turning that pressure dial back down to a safe level. The American Heart Association specifically identifies potassium-rich foods as a primary dietary strategy for managing hypertension in adults over 60. Grapefruit also contains a compound called hesperidin, which research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found directly improves the flexibility of artery walls, making them more elastic and less resistant to blood flow. Flexible arteries mean lower blood pressure. Lower blood pressure means less strain on your heart. Less strain on your heart means a longer, healthier life. Benefit number 3 connects directly back to what I told you about atherosclerosis at the beginning of this video. Chronic inflammation inside your arteries is not just a symptom of cardiovascular disease, it is one of its primary causes. When your artery walls are chronically inflamed, they become damaged and rough. That roughness gives oxidized LDL cholesterol the surface it needs to begin accumulating. Inflammation is essentially the condition that makes plaque formation possible. Grapefruit is extraordinarily rich in vitamin C. One medium grapefruit provides nearly 80% of the daily recommended intake. Vitamin C is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory antioxidants your body uses specifically to protect blood vessel walls. Think of your artery walls like the lining of a pipe that needs to stay perfectly smooth. Chronic inflammation is like sandpaper constantly roughening that lining. Vitamin C is like a protective coating continuously applied to keep that lining smooth and resistant to damage. A large-scale study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology found that higher dietary vitamin C intake was associated with a 25% lower risk of coronary heart disease in adults. 25% lower risk. From a fruit that costs less than $1. Now I need to stop here and address the most important part of this video directly and honestly. Because I told you at the beginning that I would explain clearly who should eat grapefruit and who genuinely needs to avoid it. And I want to be completely serious with you about this. Grapefruit contains compounds that inhibit an enzyme in your digestive system called CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down many common medications before they enter your bloodstream. When grapefruit inhibits this enzyme, certain medications are not broken down properly, and their concentration in your bloodstream becomes dangerously high, even at a normal prescribed dose. This is a real interaction. It is not exaggerated, it is not rare, and it is genuinely dangerous for the medications it affects. The medications most commonly affected include certain statin cholesterol drugs, including simvastatin and lovastatin, certain blood pressure medications, including some calcium channel blockers, certain immunosuppressants, certain anxiety medications, and certain anticoagulants. Here is what you must do before adding grapefruit to your diet. Take your complete medication list to your pharmacist, not just your doctor, your pharmacist specifically, because pharmacists are the most specialized resource for drug-food interaction questions, and ask directly, do any of my medications interact with grapefruit? This conversation takes 5 minutes. It could save your life. If none of your medications interact with grapefruit, then the research I have shared with you today is directly relevant and potentially very valuable for your heart health. If any of your medications do interact, then grapefruit is genuinely not safe for you, regardless of its benefits, and I want you to honor that boundary without exception. Your safety always comes first. For those of you who have confirmed grapefruit is safe with your medications, here's how to get the maximum cardiovascular benefit. Eat half a fresh grapefruit every morning before or with breakfast. Fresh whole grapefruit, not grapefruit juice. Juice removes the fiber and concentrates the sugar. Whole fruit preserves the fiber, which slows sugar absorption and adds its own cardiovascular benefits. If the bitterness is the barrier for you, here is a simple method that significantly reduces the bitter taste without eliminating the beneficial compounds. Sprinkle a very small pinch of sea salt over the cut surface before eating. Salt suppresses bitter taste receptors on your tongue without adding meaningful sodium at that quantity. Many people who believe they hate grapefruit have never tried it this way. A thin drizzle of raw honey is another option, a small amount only, which adds natural antioxidants and makes the taste significantly more approachable. Half a grapefruit, every morning, consistently. That is the habit. That is the dose the research supports. And that is the simple action that could begin protecting your arteries starting tomorrow morning. Let me bring this together for you. Grapefruit, the most avoided fruit in the senior health world, dismissed because of its bitterness, removed from millions of diets because of medication warnings that were applied too broadly. But for seniors who can safely eat it, the research is clear and compelling. Naringenin actively reduces LDL oxidation and slows the formation of arterial plaque. Potassium and hesperidin directly lower blood pressure and improve artery flexibility. Vitamin C fights the chronic inflammation that makes cardiovascular disease possible in the first place. 3 powerful mechanisms, 1 fruit, half a piece every morning. I want to be very clear about one thing before this video ends. Please check with your pharmacist before starting this habit. That one conversation is non-negotiable. But if you get the green light, I want you to start tomorrow morning, not next week. Tomorrow, because your arteries do not take days off, and neither should you. If this video gave you something valuable today, please share it on Facebook right now. Tag someone over 60 who cares about their heart health. You may be giving them information that genuinely protects their life. And if you want honest research-based senior health information every single week, please subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell. I am Nurse Susan Hartley. Check with your pharmacist first, then start tomorrow morning. I will see you in the next